They're the worst.
They're the worst.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Reboot or Deboot, a new podcast show hosted by The Worst Critics. As always, I'm Noah Davis.
I'm John Pena.
And we're here to talk about the 1973 film The Day of the Jackal, directed by Fred Zinnemann and written by Frederick Forsyth, also adapted from a novel written by Frederick Forsyth. Big picture?
I mean, one, I'm glad that they kept ostensibly to the source material because the writer of the source material wrote this.
Yeah, hard to stray when it's the literal same guy.
Big picture is this is a good movie and probably a must watch of like politically thrillery movies.
Yes.
If that's a genre you like, and
Yes.
or hitman movies.
Yes, 100%.
Because it's pretty goddamn good, and most of the qualms are things I hate about many old movies and many movies in this style, and not anything about this movie in particular. So
Yeah, it has set the bar, or is retroactively set a bar for Hitman movies for me forever.
correct. Because I mean, not specific details yet, but just like there's so much class in how it was executed. You know, it's a simple story, and the way they tell it requires no, you know, big explosion sequence, no, you know, super hot leads known from 10 other movies to sell the tickets. This is just like good through and through acting, directing, and a phenomenal screenplay.
Yeah, written incredibly well, so clean. I don't even know if you could chop anything off without being over, you know, exposure or, you know, exposition, too much exposition or anything like that. It's nice, self-contained, you're in, you're out, boom, that's a movie.
That is a movie.
And I'd like to talk about, still generally speaking, big picture stuff. I enjoy that, yes, it is about the Jackal, but I'd also say that the main character is really just the assassination plot itself.
Totally.
And I think that that's incredible. That always works well when you focus on the actual event rather than, again, you know, the Jackal is, you know, the main guy who's driving the plot, yet you can glean more. There's more of a world, a lot of world building being done, again, without any fluff, without any narrative overreaching and just, okay, we're going to talk about this for 10 minutes. So you get the context, you get it really quickly.
You know what's hilarious about this point, which I really hadn't thought, I mean, in a sort of different way, I was going to comment on that type of thing. But a hilarious prediction for later is that even in the title, you know that it's focused on the event, right?
Right.
The Day of the Jackal.
Right.
And so in the subsequent movie we're about to watch.
No, leave it till the end. Leave it till the end of this part. Yeah. No, we're not talking about that for another 25 to 30 minutes. So stop it.
Other big picture things for me on the same note, again, just because the event of it was so good. In any type of thriller, you know, following the plot of either the bad guys or the good guys, what a great way to give us both the entire time. Like at no point did I need action to feel engaged completely in it. Like every scene was either really crafted in such a way where it was like anxiety provoking. Oh, is he going to get caught?
Yes.
Or, oh, are they going to get him? And you were just sort of rooting for the action the whole time as opposed to like an individual.
Right, exactly. You were rooting for the continuation of the plot. And really, it almost felt as though it were a mystery in a way, which is weird to say. You know, of course, mystery, thrillers, suspense, there's overlap there. But at the same time, it almost felt like I was trying to piece together, oh, is he going to get caught by doing this? Is the detective going to figure it out by doing that? You know, oh, is he going to slip up? So it was a nice titillating kind of thing where it just kept you engaged the entire time till the absolute last moment and then credits roll.
Totally. And it made me question whether or not I remembered Charles de Gaulle's death. Like, I was like, did he get assassinated? Is this like based on the true story? I was like, I don't remember that being a thing, but
I still don't know if it was based or not based on a true story. I don't look the novel up.
He died of a heart attack.
Okay, but again, if we want to get in the nitty gritty, he didn't.
Oh, right. He didn't get assassinated.
Right. Spoilers.
Sure.
Big spoilers. I would say pause this episode, watch this movie, and then we'll spoil everything for you.
Wait a second.
I know, post spoiler. Yeah, whatever.
Because the whole thing is about spoiling and talking about the movie.
You know what? They should have watched the movie beforehand. Just because.
Yeah, idiot. You stupid idiot listener hearing these spoilers for this movie you haven't watched, but you click this podcast.
I mean, we said it was great before we even spoiled it. So I think that's enough for someone to say, oh, maybe I should watch it before listening or continuing on. So I think it's enough context without, my post spoiler alert.
I know. I just meant we didn't do it for literally any other movie we've talked about on this podcast.
Oh, that's because this movie's all about the plot.
Okay. Anyway, specifics?
Yep.
You want to start with your positives?
Oh, I'll start. The not text intro was fantastic.
Agreed.
It was a narration, but it was an in-world narration that was very believable, very tonally adjusted to the movie and made sense because it was just a news bulletin on the radio, and that just perfect. No notes, and they
no notes.
They they even did many time jumps in the beginning, showing you the actual context without, again, here's 2 paragraphs scrolling up and down, and we might have a narrator, we might not. It said, no, we're going to show you it as we're giving you an in-canon narration.
Yeah, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Kind of the opposite of that.
The exact opposite, and it's all the better for it. And you even get a sense of the direction right off the bat. And the screenplay even. The guy who's getting executed by firing squad, what he says that, a soldier won't raise his rifle against me, and then, he gets shot to death. But even the direction and the cinematography of that camera shot where you're behind the firing squad and you just see him. So it gives you this kind of juxtaposition of these no-name soldiers not really caring because fuck you tried to kill the president, dog. We're going to execute you. And I think that was fantastic. And that's right off the bat.
Yeah. I mean, my only qualm, and not to get into all the negatives right now, but really my only actual qualm, because everything else was so good about this movie, was part of that opening sequence. Only because I felt like the pacing was a little dragged out relative to the rest of the movie. Again, I think it was needed, and I think it was the only way you could have done the rest of the way they did the movie properly. But I was kind of like, oh man, this is dragging a little bit. Like, only for maybe the first 7-8 minutes, I was like, oh, they're going to do 2 hours of this shit. But it picked up right away, like right at the next scene. Once the Jackal's on screen, you're like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, and honestly, I would have respected it if it had committed to that bit of the radio thing. If it did that for at least major sequences. But, it's fine that they didn't. It doesn't really matter. But I don't know. I think I would have been fine with that stuff. Because, again, it's in canon. Rather than just narration.
Like, it can be really well done objectively, but I also still have sort of a bad taste in my mouth if it goes on too long. So when it starts out that way, it just rubs me a little bit like, ooh, am I in for a real long ride? And then, of course, it totally deviated from that, so I was very happy.
Right. And then, once the ball starts rolling, once you see the Jackal, played by, I wrote this down because he just fucking killed it. Edward
Fox.
Fox.
Insane. Yeah.
Absolutely tore it up. Amazing performance. Just fantastic. Once he's on screen, it almost becomes an anti-James Bond.
That's exactly the words I used. I was like, it's... Actually, Tati said, oh, is this a James Bond movie? And I said, it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah, it's literally the opposite, and it's so much the better for it.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Because, he is that suave, dashing kind of guy who, knows how to do everything and anything and has a plan for everything and anything. Yet he's a goddamn hitman. You shouldn't actually be rooting for this guy, you know, because he's a sociopath. Yet, all the same, he's kind of the protagonist, or at least one of the major protagonists. And so
right.
you're,
And
yeah.
Well, as you say, unlike the campy stuff with some of the James Bond and James Bond adjacent tropes where, oh, female love interest dies, he's like, nah, I murdered them. Like, he's just murking his own people and not caring at all in the sort of coolest way possible. It's like you're playing the Hitman games, you know, like it's just you and you alone doing the stuff for money.
I couldn't get over that. I'm pretty sure the Hitman games spawned from this movie. I also thought that. I mean, they didn't exactly nail the movie at all, yet there's so much borrowed from it. I mean, just the disguise factor, I think, goes a long way. And again, there are also these certain, not clues, but when he's buying the dye and he said, oh, I need chestnut and gray, I thought to myself, oh, the guy must have a little gray in his hair.
Right.
But then you learn
exactly what I thought.
Yeah, then you learn, no, that's actually just his plan C or his plan B if things go awry. And it's just, I don't know, it's fun, it's super fun to watch, just him going through his plan and adapting his plan to circumstances, and fantastic all around.
You got other specific bullets you want to hit?
Oh, yeah. It doesn't waste time. It's choppy without being rushed.
Oh, I agreed completely. I was, again, on the front end, in particular with streamers, just because you get to see the runtime as you like press play and stuff.
Right.
I kind of knew, oh, this has been like 5 or 6 minutes and maybe it's going to drag a little bit. And I got 2 more hours of this to go. Like, what more can possibly? And then, boom, I was like, this could have kept going. I would have watched another 20 minutes of that movie probably.
Yeah, no, it flew by. It's one of those movies that does not feel its runtime, even though, you know, obviously it is its runtime. But right. I mean, even the opening credits, where it's literally giving you the context of the movie, but you know, it's just, hey, directed by this guy, starring this guy, Day of the Jackal, okay, and then you move on. Not some long out, here's the overture, here's all the musical themes, here's every single person that worked on the movie. It's just, nope, here you go, and we're gonna advance the plot as we tell you. It's just, it doesn't waste your time. It doesn't treat the audience as if they're dumb, you know?
Yeah.
which is
again,
amazing.
Top-notch movie making.
Yeah.
Especially for a movie that is not complicated. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, you know, you need to have a fucking PhD in, I don't even know, political science to understand the nuances here. Like, they set up everything well. They provide any relative, like, temporal politics, you know, with whatever's happening in, you know, Algeria and sort of other French-occupied territories. How the Jackal, took over, or assassinated different people in the Caribbean. Like, all those things are provided to you in the film plainly. Okay, not in some obscure pseudo reference that only, you know, your grandma's third cousin knows. It's like, it just is very, very tight.
Yeah, and it gives you everything through actual dialogue rather than just telling you everything. It feels fluid in its delivery of context throughout the movie, not just the beginning radio part, but when they're just discussing things and trying to figure out who the Jackal is. It gives you all that context through a believable conversation, and that does wonders.
My next point was going to be the gun. I wanted to spend a minute on that.
Oh, hold on. I do really like the gun, but I just want to say, you know how I was talking about the firing squad shot? Did you notice how they flipped that around for the interrogation scene? So the firing squad, they were all pretty, I mean, you could tell the details, but you know, they were kind of uniform bodies aiming at the guy, the focal point, who's in the background. You know, the foreground doesn't matter. But in the interrogation scene, the guy being interrogated is in the foreground and he's silhouetted, even though he's kind of the main focal point, and the background is the interrogators. I just thought that was some great symmetry, some almost a callback to themselves 15 minutes ago. It was just, that was great.
Is pretty cool.
But yeah, the gun.
Yeah. I'm sure I've seen this other places, but this has to be the first one that did that.
Easily
And
one
it
of
was
them.
so cool.
He's super cool.
Like I was like, I don't even like guns or war movies, and I want that gun. That's how cool that
It's
is.
really cool. In that
Like it's
scene
just
where
like
he's target practicing.
yeah. He's like, I just need these like 3 or 4 bullets, 3 to practice get my scope right, get my alignment, and then 1 to watch the watermelon explode.
Yeah, and the fact that they were able to add attention to him practicing shooting, something that is relatively a very calm, almost leisure activity, and yet there's this tension where he's taking a shot, he knows the scope is off, he adjusts the scope with the screws, takes a shot. There's just an inherent tension, and I don't even know how they did it, but I was just in awe, honestly, of that entire scene. And how smoothly he acted it out. Crazy work.
Crazy.
The
Crazy
rope
work.
the rope thing around the tree, awesome. So
Yeah,
cool.
I was like, all right. They clearly know what they're doing here. And if that is anywhere in the book, then again, kudos to him for knowing that.
Yeah, Frederick Forsyth. He must be a genius or something. And I assume all of his other books suck or some, or something. But this book must have just been home run. Also, there was a clock motif I really enjoyed. I'm sure you caught that.
I did pick up the clock motif. I also think that was partially there to see how far behind the detectives were.
Right. Yeah.
We would watch him leave at whatever 5 a.m. from the lady's house, and then it'd be 9, and the police were finally on it.
Yeah, and it was great because it was a linear delivery, yet, it jumped. It jumped a lot. It went from this character to that character to this scene to that scene, and it had a lot of jumps, and yet it was still on a linear timeline, and I think that clock motif really helped establish everything. Like, oh, okay, you're on the next day, you're in the early morning, you're at the night, detective's getting called in the middle of the night while he's asleep, detective's getting, all this stuff. He's late to the train, he's on the train that's coming into town, and everything like that. It's just really well paced, and the clock motif just helps a lot. It's a nice visual cue that brings you back in. It just reels you in and sets up whatever scene you're about to watch.
Totally. And as an aside, because you mentioned it, I've looked up a bit about Frederick Forsyth.
Right.
So the negatives are he was skeptic about climate change and actively wrote in the papers about it.
Okay, let's not talk about that part.
He just recently died. He died in June.
Wow.
86.
Oh, okay.
Which means
good life.
30. It means he was 30 when the book-ish and movie came out, or less.
He's a genius, even though he might have been wrong about a few things.
Yeah, I mean, we all are, aren't we?
I also want to talk about how the entire plot is about the assassination of de Gaulle, and yet de Gaulle's not a character. I think that's such a good choice, because you're not, when there's the fake Obama or the fake Bush or the fake Trump or whatever, when you add that to a story, it bogs itself down with, oh, now I gotta care about this character. Rather, de Gaulle was just the guy. He was the target, and that's it. He didn't interact with anybody, honestly. I don't even think we heard a single word from him. I think I think that's a great choice.
Well, I was just gonna say, in particular, not only do they do that well, but I think just the timing of it, like he was the president up until like 4 years before the movie came out. So this is like fairly fresh.
Right. It was actually probably topical at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and it appears that he has had several assassination attempts.
I mean, what president doesn't?
Including a famous machine gun ambush.
Oh.
By the OAS.
Oh, so that was based off a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. That's neat. Yeah, cool context there. I also like how everything was, it was conveyed through his ministry. It was conveyed through, oh, this leader of that branch of the government, or however the French government works. I don't know. It didn't really go into detail on that. Or that director of this branch, or that guy and that guy, without bogging you down or without overcomplicating things. It was just a easy way to kind of centralize the event. Again, the day of the Jackal, rather than the Jackal or President de Gaulle. You were able to just conceptualize this one target or this one mission, and that just, I don't know, man. Great movie. Just
Yeah, great movie. And I want to take a moment to, this probably should have been done in the overview, but
sure.
In relation, now that we have, again, near 8 movies under our belt,
Yep.
where are you thinking in terms of at least the older ones? Like, for me, in general, I don't like older movies because there's a lot of tropes and a lot of bad stuff, which we'll get into in this one shortly. But I feel fairly strongly that this is a really good old movie.
Yeah.
And it might be the best one we've watched so far.
Yeah, I think it's better than Walter Mitty. Ikiru was kind of really good, though, other than a couple gripes. But I would rather watch this movie any day of the week, if that sort of answers it.
Yeah, totally. That's what I mean.
I'm not saying, factually it's better. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which one is a movie you will watch again?
I'd watch this movie 10 times before I watch Citizen Kane again.
Yeah. How many Citizen Kanes does it take?
Yeah. Definitely 10 times better, personally speaking. This movie had me enthralled the entire way, and I didn't even feel the need for my brain to wander off or anything like that. I was focused, and the tight screenplay, all the choices we've talked about, and even the practical effects were really good, especially for the time.
I know I had a complete comment on that. I thought, what in the prop and costume design and makeup? I was like, we failed at this in the early 2000s. We failed at this in the late 2000s. We failed at this in the 2010s. We failed at this in the 2020s. How was it in 1973? They were killing the game.
The only time I think the props were a little miss were when he was pretending to be an old man. But again, if they're trying to make
that leg tuck?
I literally tried to do that. You'd have to have a really strong belt, just so we're clear.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
Fantastic. Fantastic, because I was wondering the entire time how he was doing it. But again, my only complaint with the costuming, but again, you could kind of frame it under, it's realistic because he's one guy, was just the wrinkles on his, the plaster, whatever he used to make his face wrinkly. And that, again, you could kind of course, argue that in context, it makes sense for it to look a little off because, again, he's one guy, by himself, just putting makeup on. But I will say it looked just a little off, just a little. Meanwhile, when the parade was going on, when they did the shadow of the jets flying by, what a genius idea that is. What a genius, money-saving idea that is. All you would need is a light. That's it. And a cardboard cutout of a jet. Or, a cardboard cutout, the silhouette of a jet. Just fucking genius.
And sound, and to make it real on the screen. But, yeah, I mean, sick. And I was thinking, how in the world did they get these, parade shots? And, again, what they probably did, right, is just recorded the real parade.
Right.
And then
with the Arc of Triumph and all that shit. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Cut in their scenes, but still, I don't think movies can do that now. I don't think. You can't, really shut down, DC's 4th of July parade to shoot part of the movie.
Yeah. Do we know the budget on this film and then adjust it for inflation?
I can get you that. Give me one moment.
We'll fill the time by talking about nothing. Actually, a little funny note I mentioned it briefly before the podcast, but this movie is rated PG. This movie is not PG, just so we're clear. The first 3 minutes, you see a guy brutally executed by a firing squad. I mean, immediately. And you see it. It's not just, oh, firing squad, they cut away. No, this dude gets shot. Just first 3 minutes. And then you see 2 sets of nipples, maybe 3.
Many sets.
Well, you see 2 characters, just live action boobies. Yeah.
Oh, sure. And then you all the pictures of the women and the artists.
The photographer, the forger.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yep.
It cost 1.6 in 72, which is equal to 12.3 today.
Wow.
It made on that 16 mil in that time, which was 120 mil.
Good. Deserved every penny. These producers literally deserved every penny. Yeah, I mean, it is crazy, but at the same time, it's deserved. If there's ever been a movie that should have been a hit, it's this one, because you can just tell the attention to their craft is just insane. I have a couple other positives I didn't mention.
Go for it.
They had almost this obsession with this side to side kind of view or shot or direction or blocking, whatever word you want to use, where
like profile.
Yeah, well, no, where the symmetry always kind of relied on the horizontal aspect rather than the up and down, the vertical. It was either, you'd see a hallway blocking off the right side and you'd get people in the doorway on the left, or vice versa, or it would pan to the, to the side, and it didn't get vertical really until the end, where he's having to scale up a building to shoot de Gaulle. And I don't know if that was intentional in any way, but if it was, no notes. Again, no notes whatsoever.
Just cool.
Just cool. Genius. Because I don't know. It felt like every shot, again, I think we said this about Walter Mitty 2013, all the shots were deliberate.
Right.
There was a focus, there was an intended artistic representation of what we were seeing, and they achieved it. And honestly, I could talk about the acting. The guy who played the detective, awesome. And no just the quirks he added, where his knees were kind of pushed together, and you could tell he was kind of timid, yet at the same time he was competent. He was timid, but again, he was a good detective, or he was forceful when he needed to be, but he wasn't going to just talk over everybody for no reason. And that was fantastic. The forger being a pervert, awesome. Just, it added this weird layer of skeeviness where you're thinking, oh man, this forger is kind of an asshole. And then again, Edward Fox just doing work when he joked with the forger. And immediately when he started laughing, oh shit, this guy's dead. Right? Because in their first scene with the forger, he didn't laugh. Yet in the second scene, when he laughs, it's sinister. And then bam, spot karate chop, he's dead.
Boom, gotcha ass.
I guess I could go into the negatives, but they're so inconsequential that it's.
I mean, I got actual negatives, so don't worry.
Hit me.
I can carry this.
Yeah, hit me.
First things first, Turkish bathhouse sequence.
That was supposed to be gay, right?
Yeah, I think it was like subtle gay, which I don't mind. But is there like
my fourth note is gay, but not
right? Is this like a 70s undertone of like, of course, someone being gay is a murderer? Like I couldn't tell if they were kind of like they fucked with the war,
I think it was more he's a sociopath, so any sexual encounter he has is only an ends to a mean or a means to an end. An ends to a mean. No, it's only a means to an end. Did he have
sex with that guy?
I think so. But, 70s France or whatever, I don't know. Maybe they just thought, because it was an English-French production, maybe there was kind of, maybe there's just some producer who said, no way, no gay sex in my movie, or no shirtless men in my movie. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was pretty clearly intended to be a sexual relationship with that Turkish bathhouse man.
Totally thought so as well. Okay, just want to make sure that was clear. That wasn't necessarily a negative. It was just like a...
Nope, it's on my negative. I'll put gay but not, because they didn't they didn't commit. That's the negative.
Right. I
Because
agree with that.
that would show that he is just a sociopath. He does not give a fuck about these people. He is just using them and literally losing them.
Ain't no way Bruce Willis is going to do a gay scene.
Nope.
I can tell you that right now.
Hold on. We still have some time before we get to that.
I know. Other things, again, just a classic trope I freaking loathe, but any English-speaking movie,
I knew it.
they just refuse to use foreign languages. And in this one, it's really pivotal, okay?
Yes.
I don't know
Agreed.
any time a French policeman speaking ostensibly the first time they say something to another person in French wouldn't go, "Oh, monsieur, how are you doing?" And then the guy in a clear ass English accent is like, "Oh, sorry, I'm here on holiday as a Danish man." And he's like, "Why the hell don't you have a Danish accent? Or why don't you speak a little French? Or why aren't you speaking to me in Danish? Like, what's going on here?" You know, like there's many clear, they're not real plot holes as they are. What are those other things called? You know this. Those things that are like hiccups in the details, but aren't holes in the plot. Like,
yeah, I don't know a specific term for that. Of course, yeah, it's not a plot hole. It's more just an oversight. I don't know a specific term. There probably is some dumb movie trope term that, out there. But yeah, the accents that was my second negative because, again, he should have had multiple accents throughout the movie. He should have had his English accent, his French accent, and a Danish accent. And instead, it was just English the entire time with almost no inflection or anything to suggest otherwise. Other than him pretending to be an old man, where he had the old man voice. But other than that, that was it. And even the script was very English, which I kind of, it was a little weird. I'm not going to lie. When he said, when the detective was saying, "Oh, it's a great thing that," where it's that kind of backwards speak, like that's very British English old speaking and not at all French.
Right. And like, just again, even if you want to do the whole film in English, because whatever, dude.
At least do accents.
Yeah, at least have the appropriate accents. Like, give me a break. It was so confusing at the very first bit when you
they
didn't
call
really know the
Scotland
characters
Yard.
yet. Yeah, you're like, you're calling other British officers like, "Oh, get the Brits on the phone." You're like, "Wait, aren't you what?"
100% agree. Yeah, that was not. Yeah, probably my biggest negative. I mean, it's such a small thing, but I totally agree. When he was calling Scotland Yard, I didn't know where Scotland Yard began and where the the French police force, super police force. I didn't know where Scotland Yard began and that French police force ended because they all just have English accents. So it's a little weird, for sure.
Little weird. Again, 70s, I can always sort of forego it as long as it's a good movie, and this is a great movie. So say with that what you will, but that was my major big negative / question marks. I think the only other, the only other small one that I have off the top is the sort of, it's not like a real problem. I touched on it earlier, but like the way they do the beginning is necessary to set it up, but isn't, I don't think, or I guess it's useful in setting up. I don't know that it's necessary. And I'm not talking about the voiceover. I'm talking about those like sequences before the Jackal's on to like set up who our OAS guys are.
Right, their context, right. Yeah, like the failed assassination attempt.
Right, because once you have them for like 10 minutes, it's only the next 5 that those 10 were worth. So that whole 15 is sort of not needed, if that makes sense. Because the next 5 is, them putting the agents around that hotel and going, well, there's nothing there. We need to look at something else. And then they find out the Jackal. But you could have made that like 7 minutes of runtime instead of 15. And
I think, honestly, personally, I think that is simply just to get the casual normie audience to see, big gunfight. Just immediately. That way, it's kind of just you're ripping the Band-Aid off so that, a normal person isn't just waiting for a gunfight the entire movie, which you kind of are. But you can just say, we gave you it. Okay, quit complaining. Watch the movie now, I don't know. I don't know if that's excusable, you know, it still might technically be unnecessary, but I think that's probably the reason is just, again, ripping the Band-Aid off and just, here's some action, you fucking dummies. You know, just gotta keep your attention, you know. Also, a couple negatives, if that were those all your negatives?
Much.
Knocking out people, I think is hilarious.
Oh,
Will
the
always
karate
make me
chop
laugh.
in the neck.
Yeah, the spot karate chop,
in the-
hilarious. Just always takes me out just a little bit. I get it, 70s, okay, but he wasn't snapping people's necks. He wasn't choking them out. He just karate chopped their what? They're carotid. Like what is even? You're a doctor. Can you do that? Can you karate chop with such force? Death chop him? Is that a thing?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said you're a doctor. Could you karate chop someone, you know, I don't know, just in that area enough and they die? Could you break their neck or something? I don't even know what's happening.
No. What they're doing is like one of two things really. One, causing like a vasovagal syncope, like by perfectly and super insanely with like an insane amount of strength compressing the vagus nerve to again cause someone to sort of pass out. That's the syncope part.
Okay.
Again, is it theoretically possible? Yes. But the amount of practice you would have to have in that and the absolute insane strength you would have to just pass someone out. Because again, those are like incapacitating strikes. You're certainly not breaking someone's neck for sure that way. Okay. So you're definitely not killing anyone that way. And you're not applying enough like shear force to, again, shear an artery or anything like that. Like you're simply incapacitating them.
Hey, that's how good the Jackal is, baby.
Yeah, it's like it's a little bit like you could definitely stun a person. Don't get me wrong. I don't know about fully knocking them out for a great length of time, nor killing them.
Yeah, I figured. I just don't even know why they wouldn't go with the choke out Garo wire method. I just don't know what. I mean, it doesn't take. I mean, you're still just using your arms. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever. But actually, accents might have been one of my biggest negatives, but my second biggest negative is his death scene. I hated the overacting of that. Where, especially when you have, again, I come back to that firing squad execution. That guy gets shot, he drops. That's just how it works. The Jackal gets shot, he gets blown back Quentin Tarantino style, 5 feet backwards into the wall, jumping, and it's just.
What did you say? Yeah, it was a vertical is what just made me distraught. Like I get maybe again a couple super high caliber bullets at a really high velocity from the machine gun can maybe knock you backwards, but he went up like his head hit the ceiling.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the campiest part of the movie, other than the Spock chops. Yeah, not my favorite death scene. And actually, honestly, a pretty bad death scene. It served the plot. His death served the plot, but the execution of that death scene, not my favorite at all. And I think that's... Oh, did you notice the editing flub when he was stealing the rich lady's car?
Can you be more specific?
I mean, literally, when he's getting in the car, they must have had a weird shot and must have had a cut too long or something, because he's opening the door, then he teleports in the car.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I saw a different one, but it was just like something stayed. I can't remember exactly. I didn't write it down, but something just stayed on the screen for like clearly too long. Like it had cut and it was just that same frame, like copy pasted, 2 or 3 extra frames. So it just kept rolling nothing. Right.
Yeah, and honestly, my last note that I just thought was funny, not a negative or anything, but how did this motherfucker kill someone in the Congo? Is that just me? Am I looking too far into this? How did the Jackal, because they mentioned he assassinated someone in the Congo, how did he go nonchalant throughout the Congo? I mean, I don't know, maybe the 70s was a different time or whatever, but I just couldn't imagine this guy being low profile.
Just because he's white, you mean?
Yeah. Blonde, white, I mean...
No, I think there's plenty of European military men
Maybe I'm just
occupying
missing
those
that
parts.
geopolitical 60s, 70s context. So that's probably it. But I just thought it was funny. It wasn't even on my positives or negatives. I was just wondering, how do you do that?
Yeah,
How do you
'cause it
get
was like
out?
that was like a very Dutch or Belgian part of the world
I think
for
Belgian.
like all of the early 1900s, and then it was the Congo versus Belgium, and so then the UN sent people in, and then all of again basically European allies would send people in, and then I think maybe there was like some part of the Cold War
It just made
also
me
being
wonder.
involved.
Is all. It just made me wonder what kind of hoops the Jack. I mean, he went through a lot of hoops just to kill someone in France. I couldn't imagine what he had to do in the Congo.
Right? No, I mean I can imagine there was some blackface involved.
That's exactly what I was imagining.
But he's a jackal.
Yeah,
okay?
he's the Jack. That's how good he is. That's how good he is. You don't even notice.
And I think he's got bigger fish to fry because he's actually murking people.
Right.
So I don't think he really cares that much about social.
He's a
faux pas.
sociopath, okay? He doesn't care. Yeah, I think that's all my notes. And you want to talk about the possible hopes or worries for the Jackal 1997?
I mean, I have no hopes. That's for sure. There's a smaller runtime, but for a film of this caliber, I expect it to be equal. In particular, because we didn't really have many qualms with the length of the movie.
No, not at all.
Again, acting wise, it's got Bruce Willis and Jack Black, so
It's got Jack Black.
Strong. Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't want to
God.
rip it off till now.
Jackal Black.
Nice.
Is Richard Gere too, right?
Yeah, Richard Gere, Sidney Poitier or Porter. I forget how you say his
Isn't
name.
it like
Formerly.
Point? Isn't there an N somewhere?
I don't know. And then J.K. Simmons is also in it.
Whoa, kind of younger than J.K. Simmons. Okay. Yeah, my hopes, kind of none, because this was such a good, solid movie, and it didn't feel its runtime. So my usual complaints with old movies were dashed by the movie itself. I don't know.
But actually, if this is an American plot,
It's got to be
hopefully
America.
we get rid of the accent stuff, right?
Oh, yeah,
that's
true. Yeah.
one plus. I think, again, theoretically, Bruce Willis is a capable actor who would be capable of pulling off an equal job as the guy who did the Jackal. The problem is, I know the screenplay isn't going to be
Exactly.
able to carry the weight of that in this one.
Nothing
And
against
so-
Bruce Willis himself or his abilities.
Right. Like, he can be cool action guy. I don't know that he can be like fucking James Bond. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
like,
also.
Liam Neeson Taken kind of vibes. Like,
Right.
I'm just, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, if Bruce Willis, I mean, I assume he is the Jackal. I don't know if he'll be able to switch on and off like Edward Fox did. You know, he could switch on the Jackal, he could switch off the Jackal when he, again, when he laughed with the forger, okay, switch it off. Then he kills the guy, switch it on. Can Bruce Willis or can a script make Bruce Willis do that? I don't know. And if it's America, you're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting unless it's kind of neo-Nazi Aryans hiring the Jackal. What group in America?
And I can't root for him for that. I can root for the other guy.
Well, I mean, isn't it kind of similar? But whatever, it doesn't matter.
Is it? One is about, okay, right?
They
so
hate Algerians.
No. It's France colonized Africa, right?
Yeah.
Algeria is French territory. And so these
Right.
are Algerian nationalists.
Are
Not
they? What was that?
Nazis. Yeah. These are like Algerian rebellion. These are people pro Algeria's independence, anti what De Gaulle
Are you
did.
sure?
That's what I was taking it as.
I took it as they were French nationalists who hated what De Gaulle did. I think you might have missed the context or something. I'm pretty
We'll
sure
have to
they
fact
were
check it.
French and hated that De Gaulle gave it back to Algeria because they're like, nah, we got it first or technically second, so it's ours, Manifest Destiny style. So I kind of think they're kind of Aryan neo-Nazi adjacent-ish. But
Hold on, you vamp and I'll read quickly.
Yeah, Bruce. I mean, and the '90s directional style is going to be a really hard sell because there are only so few '90s movies that break that mold. Whereas it worked for this, they didn't really have to break that camera mold to deliver this story. A '90s movie to have this kind of subtlety and yet direct whatever, doesn't matter. It's gonna be tough. I assume there's gonna be a lot of blurry shots, a lot of blurry action sequences. That's my guess. And if it's shorter, I don't even know what fluff you're gonna cut off. Is there even fat to trim? You know, is there anything you can really cut off? And that makes me worried a bit. I
This
don't
is
know.
crazy.
What?
This is like so convoluted. We're both right, and that's why this group ended up dissolving more or less.
We're both right? How's that
It was
work?
like it was like far right Francoist Spain nationalists who then sort of took in some Frenchmen. They were part of sort of like the self determination of Algeria, which again was organized by de Gaulle. And
Sure.
then the group was like, wait, we hate this. They splinter off into their own different factions. And the ones that remain are the Nazi equivalent. Fuck de Gaulle and what he did to Algeria, our place. Like, that was supposed to be our, white
Yeah,
haven.
France.
And he gave it back. So you were right, and I was right.
Yeah, and if they don't do Aryan nationalist bullshit, what are they gonna do? You know? I don't know any context of America in the 80s or 90s that would further this plot other than I think you could do an English IRA thing, but to do an American thing, that's gonna be tough. That'd be pretty tough. And I assume this is my worry is that the president is gonna be a character and I'm gonna hate that. I really
Yeah.
hope I'm wrong. I really do. Really hope I'm wrong.
Me too.
But
Me too.
something tells me we're going to know the president in this movie, and that's going to be a bummer. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope this movie defies my expectations. But Day of the Jackal just set the bar so high that the Jackal is going to have a lot of heavy lifting to do. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Day of the Jackal.
Yeah, my final remarks are just it's good. It's probably my favorite movie we've watched so far.
Yeah,
And
ultimate cat and mouse movie.
the bar is now set even higher, unfortunately, for these freaking reboots. And I don't think the Jackal's gonna hit that.
Yeah, me either. But stay tuned in a few seconds to hear our thoughts on the 1997 film The Jackal. And we're back with part 2 of episode 3? It's episode 3,
Nope.
right? Or 4? It's episode 4?
I think it's 4.
You know,
Yeah.
whichever one, 3, 4, doesn't matter. Where we're going to talk about The Jackal from 1997, written and directed by Chuck Farr or Fair. We don't know. We don't really care. If this was a better movie, we might care a little bit more, but we don't. So, big
Yep,
picture.
better to not know, honestly.
Oh, wait. Before we get into big picture, I do want to note, I just saw it, in the intro, this is rated R for cursing and violence, whereas Day of the Jackal was PG for nudity, executions,
Yep.
cursing.
Male, female nudity executions.
Yeah. So
the new one's arm got blown off, okay? And that's graphic.
that's fair. So just wanted to put that in context. Okay, big picture.
Oh man, big picture bad with a capital B.
Just getting that out of the way. Ripping that Band-Aid.
Really just my exact quote, I believe, let me find it here. It's like they watched a movie and knew exactly where to whip out their pea sticks and let it rip.
Yeah, they
Just
definitely
trash.
let it rip. Yeah, big picture. I mean, we can get into the nitty gritty for a while, I think, with all the negatives. But big picture, they clearly misunderstood the assignment. And by calling it The Jackal, they almost try to subvert your expectations. And even with those subverted, it's still terrible and still doesn't even make sense. There's so many flaws in just the plotting and the character development that it's almost nonsensical that they just tried to I don't know, squeeze their own ideals into this already established blueprint. And that just didn't fly.
They took, again, from what we called the day of the Jackal, being about that whole sequence of events leading up to
the day,
execution potentially. This is about the man, except no, it's the same sort of back and forth, convoluted, except the dude, like, you don't care about the Jackal actually at all in this one.
Nope.
He's just a guy that keeps showing up and is like way more sociopathic, and by the end is actually not a hitman, but like just a serial killer.
It got really weird near the end, especially when
he's like sniffing the girl's hair and shit. You're like, wait, that's not what a hitman would be doing in his last moment.
He's almost torturing this guy because he used to know him once and they met once, and so he's torturing the man. I don't, he killed his he killed his unborn baby or something, and then he just decides to torture the dude. That's not really sociopathic in the hitman way. Again, like you said, that's just kind of a serial killer, which makes his character way less interesting than the original Jackal.
Yeah. And outside of a handful of scenes, the tone is just way less cool and way more 90s action movie.
Garbage.
In all of the worst ways.
Yes. I mean, I think we can segue into the nitty gritty because we just ripped the Band-Aid of it being bad off.
Let's start with good. Just get those
well, hold on.
notes out
I
of the
just
way.
wanted to say, even from the start, it has that crappy 90s vibe of that fake 9-inch nails credit sequence.
Yep. It's like electric metal.
It was hilarious. Yeah, industrial kind of, techno metal, whatever you want. Not grunge, but whatever, industrial metal. And what's funny is even in Day of the Jackal, the intro sequence was a positive because of how it moved the plot forward, and it was 3 slides?
Yep. And it was, in character or in universe narration.
Yeah, this movie just has context that doesn't really fit. It doesn't drive the plot forward, and then you have to sit through 5 minutes of intro credits, and by the end of it, I was already bored before the movie started.
And they still do like an outro credit scene, like with stuff still on film. It's just weird. Weird choices all around, direction wise, screenplay wise, story wise, acting wise, costume wise. It was all just every choice they made. They never made a good one outside of, I think, quite literally 2 things.
2 things. Let's go to the positives. Let's start the positives. Get that out of the way. What are yours?
All right. My number 1, they did it. They spoke the foreign languages.
Yes.
They did the accents.
Yes.
Even fucking Richard Gere busted out his IRA Irish.
He tried.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, but he tried. And I appreciate an attempt over just everyone's British.
Yeah, I also think it's funny that it's almost as if his dialect coach didn't tell him specific patterns. So it felt like he was guessing at some of it, because it would start off, his sentence started Irish and then it ended American. And I think that's hilarious because, I mean, clearly, his dialect coach was probably Irish or whatever and helped him, but it's as though he didn't really glean the final lessons, the subtleties. So it just came off as a dude doing an Irish accent instead of, oh, that sounds like he's Irish.
Right.
And but again, the disguises and the accents, I appreciate that. What's funny is Bruce Willis was actually not bad.
No, he was fine, honestly. Yeah. My one qualm with his casting is that even at this time, he's obviously like a huge celebrity actor, and maybe the guy from the other one was too, but obviously old movies, who fucking knows? But they couldn't have cast a guy that looks more out of place in every one of these scenes. Like if you were just gonna pick who's the fucking weird sociopath in the room, it's definitely Bruce Willis in every scene he's in. Yeah. At no point does he just look like a normal dude relative to the rest of the people that are clearly like handsome women or men actors and actresses. Like it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, Bruce Willis has such a distinct look that if he walked in a room, a lot of people are just going to notice him. Just say, oh, that guy looks, unique.
He looks important.
Yeah.
He looks important. He looks like he's like going to be a senator or a businessman or the mafia guy, but at no point does he not like command a room with his presence.
Right. He literally just has that look. And so to kind of pretend that he's this master of disguise and he can walk away with just a hat and sunglasses, I don't know, guys. I think a lot of people would be looking at him and being like, oh, that guy's attractive, or, that guy looks like a movie star. But nothing against his acting. I actually think if he was given a better script, he could have nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. But since he wasn't, it pales in comparison to the original Jackal.
Yeah, basically up until they killed Jack Black, I was like, I can see how this could have had potential to be cool.
Yeah.
And then basically post that, he starts to spiral, the script starts to spiral, and then it just becomes like an action movie.
Yeah, no, it devolved into an action movie so quick. And I knew that on the poster, that shadow with the pistol, I just knew that spelled bad news,
Mm-hmm.
God.
Wait, you got any more positives? Any more positives?
Bruce Willis. Oh, gay.
Yep. I was going to say it. They went full gay.
Yeah.
I was happy about it. Bruce Willis just kissed him right on the mouth.
Yep. Good on them. Good on Bruce Willis for being open to that. Good choice. The only better choice. Period. Well, other than the disguise accents. The only, I don't know, noticeable choice, I guess, because, if you didn't really care about accents, you probably wouldn't even notice it in the original, but yeah.
How could you not care, dude? The guys were supposed to be French.
I know. Okay, fine. Then it's one of the two.
British police.
One of the two then. Okay, cleared up. It's cleared. All right, you want to start with the negatives? Because I got a bunch. Chronologically.
I can just hit you with my first one, which is like, why do I care about any of this? They set up nothing for me to care about. It was the brother of some mob boss, and then they're gonna kill the first lady of the United States.
Yeah. Well, that's a twist, though.
Yeah, sure, but even if it's the director of the FBI, like, is it like the biggest mob boss in Moscow? Like they didn't set that up in any way. It was some arbitrary little bullshit club. He ordered an unnamed champagne. Like, that doesn't signify that they have tons of fucking money. He grabbed two women, again, ostensibly at his strip club. Like, nothing about it made me think this guy's a fucking pimp and he can do what he wants, and he's connected to people who can also do what they want.
Right. And I also love how the deputy director of the FBI is directly involved in an investigation in Russia. What? Can someone explain that better to me? Why would...
because this is peak 90s action movie, so you have to talk about Cold War related, subterfuge and spy shit.
I just don't get why the deputy director of the FBI is investigating mob hits or mob whatever activity in Russia. I get that FBI has some international relations, no doubt about it. I get it. Interpol.
Yeah, it would have made more sense if it was like CIA or something. You're saying,
or CIA and not the deputy director. I really almost refuse to believe
too much paper to push.
Yeah,
and physically be there in person.
That dude's literally overseeing the second to the top, overseeing an entire organization that has to worry about an entire planet or X amount of countries. Why would he care or put so much time into this? Just why?
Yep. And they didn't tell you that at all. Yeah, and they didn't even tell you at all. Also, this is just a small point, but I picked it up when I was reading the wiki. Did it come across clear to you at all that those Russian mobsters were actually Azerbaijani?
Who?
As in from Azerbaijan?
Well, you're going to have to clarify that for me.
The brother, right, who dies, the whole plot of the movie. Those men are not Russian.
They're not Russian?
They're from Azerbaijan. This is an Azerbaijani mafia.
What?
Isn't that interesting?
What's especially funny is the description for the movie says Russian mob.
Yeah, not on the wiki. Not on the wiki.
That's crazy. And honestly, and let's just take it back to the beginning when they're doing that stakeout outside the strip club. I get you have to show actors, you have to show their faces, but they were staking out a club in a car with no tinted windows. And I'm thinking that's got to be a bad idea, right?
Yeah. And she's like quite literally the director with the huge scar on her face, pulling her veil back, not
Yeah.
50 feet away from the main entrance by herself.
Also, how many suited up, fancy looking black men are hanging out for 3-4 hours in Russia outside of a strip club?
In the 90s.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'd say there's a very small number. So something, I don't know, like they don't have a single lookout or not the usher, the bodyguard at the entrance. Like he doesn't see that. He doesn't notice it. There's so many things. And then when they go to, who did they kidnap to interrogate?
Just one of those goons from the table. Scene.
Why did they shoot him in the chest with a rubber bullet? What?
To incapacitate him, obviously.
Right, but how that's maybe the worst stealth choice you could ever make for anything.
They should have just again paid homage and done like a karate chop to the neck kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that would have been cool. I would like that. Yeah, I would like that. But instead they said, no, we're going to shoot him in the chest with a rubber bullet and that's going to knock him out or something.
Also from like point blank range, like that definitely just would have killed him. Like this wouldn't have been incapacitating.
Yeah. I mean, we're just at the beginning, guys.
We're about 8 minutes in.
Literally the beginning. The intro has not yet started. Yeah, so then the shitty intro starts, and oh my god, we already talked about it. Fake 9-inch nails. It takes forever. It doesn't do anything. There's no meta context. It doesn't do anything. It just shows you this weird font that's kind of hard to read with everyone's names. Yeah,
the whole thing was ugly.
Yeah. And then after the intro, the Jackal is hired or whatever. And I had a question about that. They hire the Jackal in Russia, right?
Yep.
And he tells them, hey, you guys are Russian mob, whatever, not Russian mob, whatever. You guys are mobsters, so they're going to think it's on you for some reason. So you need to get out of the country for some reason. And, they go to Helsinki. Right?
Yeah.
So why is the Jackal flying out of Helsinki?
Maybe he met them there.
But he told them to stay out of the country.
Yeah.
So
like maybe we just missed the point where he left Russia and went to Helsinki. And then we're just watching him leave Helsinki, to steal a guy's identity.
But that's
what I'm saying. All the scenes with him are so scatterbrained. Like they don't make any sense. It was just like those were their ways of trying to pay homage. Like, oh yeah, he's a cool hitman who can change disguises all the time and do all these things. But like in the other movies, there was a clear he's a fucking mad genius who pre-plots this shit over and over and over again. And so you watch 5-6 minutes of him stalking the guy out, following him through the train station, making sure he finds the right time to pickpocket him. And he's in that place for a reason, and you know where that place is. In this, they're like, all right, we got him here at the passport. Let's do a new scene. All right, we got him in yellow hair. Let's get a new scene. It's like, okay.
I just don't understand the placement, because if they're already outside of the country, why would you feel the need as the super genius hitman to tell them to stay out of the country if they are already, in fact, if you're both in Helsinki, meeting in Helsinki, it seems like they understand, dog. So I don't know if it's a script issue or somebody just didn't really do the math.
I don't think they were in Helsinki is the thing.
But why would he be flying out of Helsinki if he told them to go to Helsinki?
I'm saying those are separate events. He saw the dude in Moscow, and then we just see him leave Helsinki when he steals the ID. So again, ostensibly he went with them to Helsinki.
Yeah, but why? That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't need to make sense. This movie never tried to make sense one time.
Okay, I just need to clear that out because that doesn't make sense to me at all, and it's almost so clear it hurts. It's as though, no one watched that, or no one in the script room or editing room thought, hey, why is he flying out of Helsinki? And yeah, I can keep going. They kind of ruined the whole gunsmithing thing.
Yep.
And the forgery thing.
Yep. And why does everyone need to have a first and last name?
Clarify that for me.
Both people, we got both of their full names. It was like Ian Lamont was Jack Black. Like I remember him saying the full name. I'm like, why wouldn't he just be like the gunsmith? There's like black market street deals. He's making fucking $100,000 worth of guns. Right. This dude you're not calling him his fucking government name. You know what I mean?
No, that's an alias, bro. It's an alias. Like, the show Alias, you gotta have a full character. Yeah, and they ruined the forger. They just kind of made him into a hot lady who has a kid, and that's all we got, and that's it.
Yep. And he severely underpays her. Like the one in the other movie made way more money. It was the 60s or 70s.
And they almost tried to fuse the two by doing the thing where Jack Black wants more money instead of the forger, but they didn't have that subtlety of, when he makes that joke the first time, he doesn't laugh. And then, the second time he jokes and laughs, and that's how the Jackal's pissed. They didn't do that. They didn't do the second thing. So it's just, the Jackal's a butthole. Well, it's not fun. It's just him just being a sociopath for no real plot reason, or it doesn't develop his character or our perception of his character. It's just, you ruined two characters from the original. Great.
Yep. And the Swiss gunmaker was cool. He was like a cool old dude running his little shop, and then on the side in his metalworks shop he made like cool guns for hire.
Yeah, you could tell
this was just some lady.
Some lady who forged things. Yeah,
forging papers. Yep. And then some fucking bum ass dude making the guns.
Also, the ChatGPT mounting system was hilarious. Yuck. Where he's literally talking to a computer. So hold on, I just need to reframe this. He goes to a bank and says,
spoilers,
hey,
by the way.
What?
I just said spoilers, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry. He goes to a bank. That's the whole plot. No, he goes to a bank, this whatever Swiss bank that he has offshore accounts with, Cayman Islands, doesn't matter. He goes to a bank, and, he's talking to the banker, and he says, hey, can I use your computer? And the banker says, yeah, it's all set up. And what he means by that is that this computer has this insanely high-tech voice recognition software that I don't think was available in the 90s.
Microphone. No microphone, by the way.
Yeah, some hidden microphone. I don't think it was available in the 90s to have such a good voice recognition. I mean, voice recognition now is still in trouble. So, and Google searches the black market for things, and instead of just asking Jack Black or something, they decided to have this scene where he's smoking a cigar or whatever and talking to a computer and going, that's too heavy. It's just, it's the most...
You know what's interesting?
Yeah. What?
I initially didn't actually think it was, AI helping him search. I thought it was like he's in a remote chat and it just has like a voice transcriber and he's like talking to the merchant sort of anonymously. Is how I took it.
Well, that still has the voice recognition problem.
Still super high tech. Right, yeah, still super high tech, but I wasn't like thinking it was searching for him, but that's even crazier if that is what they were trying to do.
I mean, it was showing him results. So, and it said like loading and shit. So I think it was a high tech chat GPT LLM,
Right.
Yeah, I just think that scene was so stupid and added nothing other than Bruce Willis smoking and asking a computer questions, which doesn't scream cool to me. I mean,
yeah, no, it's bad.
You can do anything.
I have a big picture and a nitty gritty bad that immediately pairs off of this.
Yeah.
How many different kind of anti-American goons can we get in one movie?
Oh, this was
We've got
propaganda.
Russian quote unquote Azerbaijani mafia. We've
Mm-hmm.
got IRA, and then
Mm-hmm.
we have like the action thriller special. Hijackers are here to take your gun. And you're
Okay,
like, wait,
hold
we have
on.
a third enemy?
You're getting way ahead of us with
No, because he orders the gun and he gets the gun, and then the hijackers are
Yeah,
immediately on
but
his
hold
ass.
on. I got some negatives before we even get to the hijack.
That's crazy.
I have a whole list. I mean, my negative side, I had to put bullets beside my bullets just to fit the negatives.
Jesus.
So when they get the guy with the stun gun or whatever, and they're talking with the KGB, whoever they are, the
MVD.
FBI is talking with the what?
MVD.
Gotcha. So the FBI is talking with the MVD, and they go, "We have interrogation techniques, yada yada." And Sidney Poitier, oh, I still don't know how you say his last name. He goes, "I don't want to know what that means." And then literally the next scene of them is them watching the interrogation sequence. So why was that? Why was that included? If it's, I don't want to know what that means, and then they just show him what that means, and he has no qualm with it whatsoever. He's just, yeah, you guys did that.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
There's so many bad things, and in that interrogation thing, I can go off of that. The Jackal name doesn't make any sense.
Correct. Because in the other movie, it had a distinct reason.
Yeah.
This one, you don't even allude to him saying it.
No, it's just he called them jackals, and they're like, "Oh, jackal. What do you mean by jackal? Oh, we had the KGB or the MVD, right? MVD.
Mm-hmm.
The MVD. We hired the jackal one time, so that's that mystery solved." You're just thinking, what? Wait, why would he use the same code name multiple times?
Yeah. Mass murdering hitman extraordinaire mastermind. No, please don't use my government name. Keep using my known alias where I murder people with over and over.
And also, their reaction to this jackal thing is to find an IRA dude who's convicted of terrorism charges that has seen him once, but the jackal is a master of disguise. So why would they presume this guy had seen the jackal's face? And then why would they presume he could recognize it if the jackal is a master of disguise?
Yeah, this should have had Dana Carvey, is what you're trying to say.
Yes, master of disguise. Yeah, for sure. I don't understand the logic of, okay, this guy changes his face again. So A, how do you know the face he saw was his face? And B, how would he know the face he's gonna see is his face? What? And then they make it as though Richard Gere, Irish Richard Gere, is this super mastermind terrorist who can, men like this don't make mistakes or something like that.
Yeah, it makes his whole character makes no sense because he was an IRA sniper. Okay.
Uh-huh.
He was not the head of the IRA, one of the special force unit leaders. You know what I mean? He was just a soldier who was good with a ranged weapon.
Yep, but he's
Why
a
the
mastermind.
fuck can he help find this super terrorist? Well, they killed my unborn baby, so I gotta find him.
That's literally the entire plot. Or I love when he goes to see his ex-wife, and his ex-wife is swooning over him, and it's just like, dog, your husband's on the dock down the hill.
Yeah, like
what are
right
you doing?
there, you're not even hiding. Like they lean in to kiss, and then they're like, we should not do this.
I think you already crossed the line, guys.
Yeah.
There's so much wrong with this movie. And then they tried
Please get to the hijackers, man. Please get to the hijackers.
Hold on. Then they turned Richard Gere into James Bond, it felt like. We were getting, you know how we loved Day the Jackal for being a reverse James Bond?
Yeah. All the women are swooning after him. And
yeah.
He's a hot guy. And yeah.
They then made a reverse James Bond, so just James Bond. And it's not fun at all, especially in 90s when James Bond was kind of played out until the Brosnan movies kind of rebooted, but even those got bad again. So I don't understand this obsession with trying to just make this an action movie instead of the movie we had. Just,
Cool British guys, bro.
and now
They
we're
sell
almost
tickets.
here.
They sell tickets.
Now we're almost here to the hijackers. Why would you need to repaint your van if you're just going to poison the door handle? Can you help me out,
in case
man?
it got spotted. I think that was fine. I mean, the poison was over the top and nonsensical, but I don't think it was like egregious for the movie. I think the art of it was just not science, if that makes sense.
I just don't understand. And then the whole water trail thing is just this.
Yeah, he would have just washed that away. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then again, why would he poison the door, or why wouldn't he just poison the door handle? I don't know, man. I think it's when there's just one logical fallacy, it tumbles down. It's snowball effect where I'm just looking at every single thing now. And
I knew you knew the word.
What?
That's not a plot hole. It's a logical fallacy.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the word to go for.
Sorry. Anyway. Yeah, no, there's too many of those in this fucking movie.
Yeah, okay, the hijackers, we're there. Hit me.
Oh, man. Well, the big point is still the big point. Then we can hit the subtle nuances of what the actual hijackers were. But why did we need Russian mob, Russian police force, right? Like all the guys are... first off, every person who was Russian in this film was scarred to shit. Like classic fucking American trope propaganda bullshit. And then turns out they're Azerbaijani anyway. And then you have the fucking IRA because, like, why do you have to be IRA? Like, why couldn't he just be a British military sniper? Just go full James Bond. Like, why do you have to be IRA at all? That whole 7-minute sequence of him being in prison and they have to sort of negotiate for his release on his terms. Like, it didn't make him any cooler. It didn't change his character in any way. He didn't evolve.
Nope.
He just went from like a kind of a punk to somehow suave British guy in the same scene. So
yeah,
it didn't matter.
Never changed. Even when we got the revelation about his unborn child, it just still didn't change him.
You may have missed this too, but his lover, Isabella, or whatever the fuck her name was, she's like Spanish separatist. So she's like very leftist, anti-Franco Spain.
What?
And so they included that military group in it as well.
What? I didn't catch that at all.
And then they do the hijackers, It's like 4 or 5 different fucking groups of like tropey ass shit that I would have been pissed off if they were the only bad. And then they all out, like, it wasn't the Nazis, it wasn't like right-wing supremism, which you kind of thought it might be, which would be way better. And make more sense and be more parallel.
Every single character could have just been an Aryan skinhead, and it would have made the movie so much more palatable. Just because one faction, that's it. Ugh.
Actually, you're right. Now I'm even more mad that it's the FBI, because what the fuck does the FBI have to do with any of this?
I don't know.
Like, this is an international crime ring, essentially.
Right.
Like, it's the IRA, it's the Spanish far left, it's the Azerbaijani mafia, and at no point was an American involved at all.
Yeah, and
until the FBI involved themselves.
Right, and again, I'm sure
crime.
The FBI helps out with things every now and then, but this seems so specific for no reason. It doesn't even make sense. The literal setup of the entire movie doesn't make sense. So the whole director getting assassinated, I get that. That's when the FBI should have stepped in, but they were there from the beginning.
I'm not one to talk smack about former Navy SEALs, but this guy needed to stay in his lane because he clearly knows nothing about how these types of international crimes work. Doesn't make any sense.
I mean, at least the movie didn't, give us that impression. So is it our fault that we think that? I don't know.
Because even on his wiki page, in 1984, he reported to SEAL Team 6 for training and took a training course to become a certified counter-terrorist operator.
So he understands it.
He should understand it. He just apparently doesn't. Apparently that training course did not help him at all.
Well, it didn't help him with the fiction is the problem. He's probably so embedded with how it actually works that he didn't even...
You know what? He's probably like, this is how it really works, but no one will believe me because it's so ridiculous. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to tell the honest tale. It just seems
Man.
so fake.
Okay, I'll move on to another negative because this is just a script thing. Not even a logical fallacy, a literal plot hole. The amount of money he pays Jack Black doesn't add up.
In
When
what?
Jack Black wants more money, he wants
Yeah.
what, 100K?
100K extra on top of the whatever 40 he originally was owed.
Well, I thought he wanted 100K total.
I thought he wanted another 100.
Well, because
he was
Jackal
like, I'll give you
says,
half now,
I'll
half
get
later.
you 50K.
Right. Like half now, half later of the 100.
Right.
But he already
wouldn't
paid
that
him
be
ostensibly.
90? Because if he gave him the
What?
40K.
No. See, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I think he gave him 20. He shows up at the place, already having received the 20.
Yes.
Sees the thing, and then gets extorted for 50 more. Total paying 70, theoretically, if he would have paid it.
Uh-huh.
To still owe an additional 50 once the job's done.
Oh.
Which would be 120 total.
But didn't he ask for 100? Okay, hold on. Okay.
He did ask for 100.
Okay,
I think he's asking for 100 extra.
Okay, I get you.
And then he's like, all right, well, fuck you. I'll just pay you the 100, but
That's
I'm giving
my
you
bad.
50
The
now
snowball
and 50
effect,
later.
The snowball effect just affected my perception. That's my bad. Then the whole the gun sequence was maybe the worst offender to it being
bad.
a reboot.
It was bad. Bad special effects, not cool.
They literally took the coolest scene in the original and made it dumb.
Yeah, well, and one of the coolest things was it was simple assassin work. You know, it was Hitman adjacent, like Hitman the game adjacent.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was subtle. It was very, very stealthy. And then, you know, he fucking ties the rope around the tree and he's getting his aim and he's adjusting the sight. And this, he's just typing into a computer and the gun's whipping around. The bullets are like fucking missile ballistic caliber.
They just spin, crazy. Bro. They spall or whatever he said.
They spall. Spall.
And then he just shoots Jack Black with his arm off and then shoots him into a car that explodes because
again, I think this is where I started to go, okay, I see what they're doing, because now he's just actually a serial killer. Again, and he's not a cool hitman. He's a serial killer.
Yeah. And they just ruined that scene. I'd love to know the resolution of that little touchpad or laptop he was looking at. I'd love to know what resolution that screen was.
Yeah, but 97, baby.
Then moving on, when he takes the boat to Chicago, why would the white minivan be in Chicago? Or maybe how would the white minivan be in Chicago?
He's a genius planner.
Okay.
Who doesn't miss a beat, bro.
Okay. I was just wondering. And then we get that terrible stare down scene.
No, wait, no. You missed a big one.
What?
He just crossed international waters.
Yeah, but they said it's all lax. They explained that in the movie, though. They said it's cool.
Did they?
Yeah, they said they don't really care, pretty much.
I missed that. I was waiting for the passport exchange or the inspection of his boat or something
they
to
said
tip off the local authorities.
They didn't have a lot of guards or something because Canada or something. I don't. They at least sort of
explained it. They did say something to it. Okay. Yeah, I must have missed that.
It was stupid, but at least they gave some backup for that. Yeah, they said that it was pretty lax or there weren't many guards or whatever, yada yada movie. But then the stare down with Richard Gere and Bruce Willis. Why would Bruce Willis not just keep walking away? He had to stop. He had to pause because he saw Richard Gere, and then he had to turn around, and you got that John Woo stare down, which doesn't work for anything other than a John Woo movie. And then they had to shoot out on the boats.
It's bad, and it's dumb. But I think it's also just he's a serial killer and now he likes toying with his victims. And there's a whole different like psychology to this character from that point of killing Jack Black like ruthlessly. That's what I took it as. Like he can't resist the, hey, I'm better than you kind of thing.
I guess. I don't really agree with it, but I guess you're
As
right.
someone who watched a lot of Criminal Minds and SVU, I can really get into the head of these types of writers.
Also, the First Lady twist. Let's talk about that. How is that a twist? They purposefully didn't show us the picture, so we know they're teeing up a twist. And then they just say, oh, it's the First Lady because he said you can't protect your women.
Yeah.
It's just, what does that mean? You can't protect your women?
No, it's even better because it's not just that. It's that the Russian badass officer would want to give that message thinking that maybe it is cryptic. There's just no way in your dying breath you're thinking about what the guy who killed you said. You're thinking about all the events in your life, the people you've wronged, or, maybe you just want to say goodbye to that last person who's seeing you, whatever it is. You're not thinking about repeating that last important message because it doesn't sound important at all.
No, it sounds like a joke. And why would you repeat that to
and it sounds
friend?
Rude. Yeah, it sounds rude to your friend. Like, it sounds mean. Like, she's not a fucking dickhead,
No, bro, she gamed it out. She figured it out just from dying.
Yeah.
Or something.
And then to top all of that off, it isn't that the Declan guy, Richard Gere figures it out. He somehow keeps that imprinted in his mind that she said that to him. And then is watching TV incidentally. It's the coincidence that always pisses me off in these types of movies. It's never like a genius aha moment. It's like I got some random piece of trivia fed to me accidentally, right time, right place. And now I've found the key to the city and we're rich,
Also, again, what does the First Lady have to do with anything? They didn't even, okay, he sees her on the TV, but why would he assume she's the target? Just even with the coincidence of, okay, you see the First Lady, what was she doing that Richard Gere, Declan, says, yep, that's it.
Yeah. And how is Declan can't protect his women? Like, that's not his woman. The First Lady of the United States should be nothing to an IRA sniper. Right. He's not a fucking American hero. Like,
also,
it's just some woman.
And wouldn't that be the perfect bait? Wouldn't that be perfect for the Jackal to then go after the director of the FBI? Like, got you.
That would be a gotcha. That would be great.
But instead, no, it was literal. He was being the Riddler for some reason.
Yeah.
Then the climax, which was so stilted. It felt so off, and it took
what's crazy?
So long.
Is even up until the point where he goes back to Isabella's house and murders the FBI agents and says the bullshit to that dying Russian lady, it's still like fine. Nothing egregious has happened. Everything egregious happens once everyone's in DC. That's when this movie is fucking fully off the goddamn rails.
Off the rails. No rails in sight.
Because, first off, dressing up like a cop, interacting with multiple cops, and not one cop questions his badge number, who the fuck this guy is, what precinct are you from, where's your partner, what's your duty. They've never
seen him there, ever.
Why are you sitting on a bench for half of the fucking ceremony? Like, a million questions.
And not even a reference to, hey, I haven't seen you before. And then, he has a cool excuse because he's a sociopathic hitman. It's just, okay. All right, bud.
Yep. Good working, officer. Thanks for ocular pad down in that vehicle that's definitely got a fucking humongous gun in it and is tinted out the ass.
Even the script didn't give us anything in that area. And the whole DC thing, the whole gun in the van thing, super stupid. He should have just had a sniper rifle like the original, because what was the problem? Why wouldn't he just have a normal sniper rifle? I still don't even understand why.
No, because I think it was like supposed to be big and scary. What was the phrase? Big and
I don't know.
Big and memorable, whatever. Like, he was supposed to make a spectacle of the murder, right? So if it was a mass casualty event, bonus points to him. But like, that thing clearly couldn't aim, and he did no adjustments to it. So he knew he might miss the shot, even if it was perfectly aligned and no one stopped him. And then his hope was just to spray and pray, but it was like so badly aimed. It was just shooting in the building behind them.
Yeah. It didn't even shoot.
Didn't make any sense.
If it shot the stage under them, they would have still died.
No hitman would have executed that poor of a gun choice.
No, no, it made it look like the Jackal was kind of dumb by the end of the movie, which is
And
the opposite.
And unfortunately, I wish that could be the worst part, and that's how the movie ended, like the original movie ended.
Nope.
But no, then there's the fucking underground subway chase scene, the
It's
sniffing the girl's
crazy.
hair, Richard Gere isn't even going to get to kill you. His fucking Spanish ex-bride is going to come as the big reveal and shoot you.
And where did she come from? Did they explain that?
No, they didn't. Why does she know where he is? How did she know how to find them? Why is she in DC? Because they didn't really flee. They clearly stayed by their family home after their home got invaded.
And they didn't tell her anything about the First Lady or anything like that. So why would she know if she's targeted, theoretically, like they said she was, why would she be anywhere near either of them? It's so, they somehow overcomplicated this movie, and it's even shorter than the original. So kudos to them for making something worse by taking more fluff into it or putting more fluff into it. I don't understand how they did it. Day of the Jackal was 2.5 hours and did not feel like 2.5 hours. This movie was 2 hours, 15 minutes and felt like every single second of 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah. And then it doesn't even end there. It doesn't even end with the stupid reveal that the fucking left. Spanish. Yeah, you still got like 5 or 6 minutes of just like background closing the loop on shit you didn't care because the Richard Gere wasn't the main character. Sidney Poitier was the main character. Like, it made no sense. And then the FBI director's going back to Russia. You're like, wait, huh?
Yeah, and he also let an IRA sniper just waltz away. I don't know about that one.
Especially because he said, I'm basically untouchable for the rest of my career. So I don't give a fuck what you do. Like, the only thing that was keeping a terrorist off the streets was his prospect of losing his job.
That's a good implication.
Okay. It's like, Jesus Christ, bro. I didn't even want to give you a gun not 2 days ago, but now I trust you in these streets with my life.
Yeah, now that I know you were just a soldier and not a terrorist, you're all good. Like, what? No. Wait, hold on.
Now that I know you're for hire for whatever side, as long as it serves you, I can trust you.
Just no momentum in this movie. There's no such thing as momentum. It's so truncated.
What a goddamn cast to just be pissed on.
Yeah. Yep.
So you got Bruce Willis, you got Richard Gere, you had Sidney Poitier, you had J.K. Simmons.
Yep.
You had Jackal. You had what's his name? Daniel Day Kim. You know, for a half
Daniel
second.
Day Kim, bro. I was gonna talk about that. Good on him. Like, I'm glad he got a role like that. You know, that's probably what, you know, one of his jobs. But yeah, I was like, Daniel Day Kim, baby.
Mm-hmm. Larry King, you know, like, I'm surprised the budget wasn't higher.
Yep. And
but then I did the math, so the budget is high.
How much was the budget?
60 mil in 97, which is about 120 now.
Yikes. It was all those explosions and gunfights.
It made 150, so my guess is that's about...
Good.
Yeah. 300.
Wait. No, that means they barely made a profit. Crap. Damn it. You got any more notes?
No, that was pretty much all of them that I cared to share.
Okay. I just want to take the time to reference, I watched the show and it was fine, but it made the Jackal way less interesting, and he's less of a sociopath, and he's just kind of a human who happens to be good at killing instead of emotionless thing, you know? They try to humanize him too much, and it's 10-hour-long episodes, and it's just gets so boring near the end. If you really want a crime show, you can watch that, but there are probably so many more you could watch, so I don't even love the show. It's better than this movie that we just reviewed, but not anywhere close to the original.
Exactly. If for some reason you're not in the mood to watch 2 hours of a really good or 2.5 hours of a really good movie, you could watch 10 hours of a mediocre TV show that kind of gets there.
They also, I'm going to spoil it for you. spoilers for the show for anyone who might want to watch the show. One, they tease a season 2, which annoyed me.
Sure.
But 2, they have this investigator who's, after him the whole show, and she has this family that is really important to the show. I mean, they have so many scenes with the family and the implications of her job, yada yada. And so, spoilers, she gets killed. Jackal kills her at the end. And it gives you absolutely no hint at her family after that. And I just sat there thinking, so their mom and wife just got killed and we're not going to get anything? They made the family such an important role. And then they just kind of glazed over it, like just flew by that implication that they just lost their matriarch or whatever, their wife. And pretty mid show. It was fine. It looked good though. I'll say that. And that's about it. Oh, and they did the disguises right. The disguises were awesome. He did the accent. Awesome. And that's it.
That's the way to do it. I have just a couple letter boxes, and then we can say
we're gonna be at the longest episode period.
That's fine.
Might as well drag it out.
So, your favorite Bruce Willis character, your favorite Bruce Willis disguise in this tells me even more about you than your astrological sign. And I think that's kind of true. I mean, there are good disguises, and he does play different people, despite them being, again, tropey as all hell and very 90s. And then this is the long one, and then I'm done. Haven't watched this in years, but can confirm my massive Bruce Willis fandom at the time of this movie's release, and the fact that I saw it in theaters 5 times and purchased the soundtrack make me a little bit biased. Solid thriller that's goofy as shit, and a swell supporting cast of reliable familiars, including my life force Matilda May and the great Sidney Poitier. The Day of the Jackal is a million times better, but this little 90s shithouse gem was the type of sugary satisfaction swill that I was craving late night. And I only paid $1 for the Blu-ray. So yeah, if you want to pay $1 to watch this, maybe, but otherwise save your money and your time because it's really bad.
This is a deboot if we've ever seen it. This is a deboot confirmed.
Yeah.
No question.
This might be the most offensive deboot.
Yeah, because Heartbreak Kid didn't set up a good reboot. Whereas this could have been.
It was a terrible movie.
Yeah. We didn't get either one of those, whereas we got one of these for sure. And then we didn't get this reboot. Terrible. I literally can't give it a good score in good faith, just at all, anywhere close to a good score. So
yeah, 1 out of 5 stars, or maybe 2 out of 10 for me. Like bad.
Yeah, I don't like numbers like that, but yeah, I'd agree. All right, I think that does it for episode 4. I think we settled on that's episode 4.
It was 4, man.
Okay.
Yes, it was 4.
That was it for episode 4. Catch us next time when we review the Cronenberg movie Dead Ringers and the TV show from 2023. So we're gonna mix it up a little, and we're gonna give you our thoughts next time on episode 5. As always, I'm Noah Davis.
I'm John Pino.
And we're out of here.
Boom.
They're the worst. They're the worst.